Hey, public opinion aficionados, it's Mark Mitchell, head pollster of Rasmussen Reports, and really happy to join Gene Valentino at the Grassroots Truthcast today. I support his podcast. Go check it out and subscribe while you're there.
Hi, friends. Gene Valentino. We've got to get on this herpes virus and attack it at its source. If you're tired of these cold sore breakouts caused by the herpes virus, you've got to discover this product I'm on board with. It's called Herplex, the natural homeopathic remedy that works on your body's defenses. Visit buyherplex.com/Gene. Do it today and save 25% on your first order by using the discount code GENE25. Throw that code in there and you got yourself a discount. Let's conquer herpes and cold sores together.
Our great friend Gene Valentino, the Velvet Hammer, is with us this morning. And Gino, we are glad to see you this week. There's a lot. You know, it's amazing what happens between the times you and I get to talk on Friday, from Friday to Friday. It's crazy. This week, we had a group of congressmen and senators who actually are running a psyop on young soldiers in the military, maybe the National Guard, to try to question in their mind, to make them wonder if they are following illegal orders. Now, this is something that cannot stand. We cannot allow this to happen. These congressmen and senators are actually, in my opinion, trying to foment an insurrection against the president of the United States, the current sitting president of the United States, by turning the military itself and the CIA against him. What say you?
Well, I think they probably won't suffer the death penalty, but they better get ready for some serious legal consequences. The Democrats are desperate when they've got a result to doing this kind of behavior in the 6 o'clock news before your eyes, to try to suggest that the President Trump is working out of bounds, whether administratively, defensively, economically, whatever the venue. This man has moved a mountain overnight. And I say that cautiously because I'm really anxious to criticize Donald Trump, but I'm having trouble finding something substantive to criticize him for. He has moved a mountain overnight, and the Democrats are in a virtual panic. They've got they now result in 4-letter words in their primary vocabulary as congressmen. They've got commentary coming out. Where are they on Nigeria? I don't hear a single congressman. We have Nicki Minaj coming forward, working with our Secretary of from the UN, Michael Waltz, to develop a position. I don't see. Now, this was a Democrat, liberal African American black woman. She's on board with trying to change this nation. You have all these people who were trying to build up a regime within the Democratic Party now finding themselves embarrassed. Why? Because they've painted themselves into a corner. They should be ashamed at themselves. And whether these lawmakers end up going to jail under the sedition issues or not is secondary only to the embarrassment they've caused this nation and the world. And Michael, I know it firsthand. I got back from Hungary, the country of Hungary, Budapest, about a month ago. Let me tell you something. They leaned national figures from around the world, the Czech Republic, Australia, Great Britain. And at a dinner, they leaned into me knowing I was one of the only Americans in the room. And they said, "How are you guys doing over there? Are you Americans finally standing up to some of that crazy talk?" That's how they put it. And I said, "Yes, we are. Yes, we are. Not fast enough to make me happy, but at least it's underway." And I see a change in this nation in the general sense right now. that I think is going to overwhelm many. Donald Trump doesn't need to take people to the death penalty under acts of sedition when they're being embarrassed on primetime news and being relegated to the stupidity of their ways. We said it how many times, Michael? How many times have we said it over the last 4 years on this Friday morning show that the Democrats have painted themselves in a corner and are now we're witnessing in plain view the complete meltdown of the Democrat Party. It's underway, and the ones speaking still are desperate. Things are changing. Things will change. I'm excited about the future of this nation. We got some economic issues that aren't being talked about, and those are the ones that concern me more right now today.
You know, what would Lincoln do? What would FDR do if he had insurrectionists in his midst? I say that they would have dealt with them a lot harsher back then than we are dealing with these lowlifes that are trying to cause insurrection in the military, in the CIA. Yeah. I mean, you ask yourself that question, what would they do? Here's what we need to do. Let's just put all this to rest. What we need to do with all these congressmen, senators, who absolutely are trying to start an insurrection in this country through our military, we need to just follow the law. The law is there. Just take them, take their depositions, find out what they have to say about what they did, and let's charge them with whatever the law says we can charge them with. Just do it. That's how you stop this nonsense.
Donald Trump is following the law, and that drives him crazy. And who is not following the law? It was only 4 years ago Joe Biden ignored Supreme Court rulings as it related to refunding $430 billion of student loan, student debt forgiveness against the ruling of the Supreme Court. Here, on the other hand, you've got Trump working his best to try to work within the Supreme Court rulings that he's being hit with almost on a daily basis. I'll tell you, Michael, the silent majority, the conservative Republican, are my velvet hammer friends. Still waters run deep, or said differently, if you're gonna light a match in the gas tank, don't bitch about the explosion.
That's exactly right. So I guess we can move on to some other subjects. I did want to mention to you, just a programming note. We had a former United States military Army general on this past yesterday, in fact, to talk about this very subject. His name is Larry Harrington, General Larry Harrington. You know, this guy would be perfect for your Truthcast program. I'm going to connect you to, if that's okay with you.
Oh, I'd love it. Yeah, we're looking for a dynamic and controversial conversation, usually less than a half hour long. The Joe Rogan 3 hours of interviews are, I don't know who gets to watch 3 hours of Joe Rogan, but the bottom in any given day. But his content is good. It's just that these snippets getting down under an hour, generally around 30 minutes, if this gentleman would want to come on, in fact, Michael, we can take snippets out of the episode and put it back on this show for morning discussion.
There you go. We'll do that. That's perfect. So we're talking about Supreme Court decisions. Now the Supreme Court. One of the courts has said that Donald Trump's got to get the National Guard out of the national city, the city that belongs to the federal government, the only city in the United States that is under the purview of the United States Congress, the United States Senate, the President of the United States. Now we can't use federal resources there in the form of the National Guard. And when we say that, remember that Joe Biden absolutely ignored Supreme Court rulings about student loans. Let's talk about that for a second.
The highest authority of the three-legged stool is the administration. In time of need or an emergency, when nuclear bombs are being launched between Russia, China, and the United States, I don't need this dysfunctional United States Congress trying to figure out how to tie their shoelaces, not let alone a policy position on bombs. We need an administration to step up and to be forthright and show leadership and not fall into a coma like we experienced in the last administration. We need leadership, and that's what we're getting with Donald Trump and the likes of him going forward, so that we can be responsive on the fly, in the instant, to make sure we are responsive to the crisis at hand. I hate to say it, but if Biden gets away with violating the Supreme Court ruling on loan forgiveness, that pales in comparison to President Trump's entitlement to move quickly to defend this nation, whether it's the District of Columbia or 50 states.
Yeah, I agree with you. So a couple of things happening in the news today that I thought we would talk about. This will be discussed all weekend long on all the news organizations. But let's just give a bump to John Bolton. John Bolton, I think, is making his first appearance in court today.
Yeah, he's going in, former national security advisor. He's appearing in court, while in another courtroom you've got James Comey trying to fight his way out of the charges being presented against him. And I think this is a reflection on the fact that justice will be served. I think dialing it down and putting it less in the news to allow the court system to do its job with very sensitive issues has a place. It may be appropriate that we in journalism, we in the news, back off until we got a real story to share, for crying out loud. I want to see these people go down, but let the process take care of it.
Well, the process, in some sense, is the punishment, to be honest with you. I mean, you know, if you've ever known anybody that the feds get after, you can see what it does to their life. And there's nothing else you can do except defend yourself with the feds when they get after you. So the process will chase these people until it decides what it's going to do. And that includes jurors and judges and what have you. But we'll continue to watch John Bolton. Now, one of the other stories out there this morning is that Eric Swalwell is, one of those, the linest guy in Congress. I mean, if you take out Nancy Pelosi, which by the way, he's got some relation to Nancy Pelosi. I forget what it is. But Eric Swalwell has now announced that he is running for governor of California.
Yeah. Divert, deflect, and distract. It's
that's
the
right.
play, but if anyone can't see the rule book by now on the Democrat side, I can come on over. I'll give you a few quick lessons. It's Swalwell's ability. If you're talking about him running for governor, what are you not talking about? His mortgage fraud violations, which equate to Letitia James and Adam Schiff, who are currently being accused of the same. A massive stunt in the Democrat Party, and it's throughout, it's pervasive, that shows they have abused the lending system of this nation to advantage themselves. I submit to you, Michael, this is the first three, many more to follow.
You know, this guy, he wakes up in the morning deciding, what lie he's going to tell today. And old Pencil Neck is the same way. And they didn't fall far from the tree of Nancy Pelosi, who groomed these folks into being what they are. Thank the Lord that we are finally ridding the United States government of Nancy Pelosi. The stench of Pelosi will be around for dozens, maybe decades of years to go.
It's my version of a chemtrail.
Yeah, exactly. So, but the whole point is that even with the Epstein files, which we didn't talk about today, it's been discussed a lot this week. It happened earlier this week. The president said it's already backfiring on Democrats. No, every time they point a gun at Donald Trump, the bullet goes around the world and hits him in the back of the head.
They tried to take out Donald Trump how many times? We've all got different numbers. Twice to take his life, and how many dozens of impeachment tries and so forth. All these attempts failed. The American public is saying enough's enough. And sure enough, term limits. You mentioned Nancy Pelosi. In office way too long. One constitutional amendment. Give me term limits and we'll start there.
Yeah, we got to go, Gene. Thank you so much for joining us as you do every Friday. Thank you, sir.
Always a pleasure.
Oh, no, we won't see you next week. We'll see you in 2 weeks.
2 weeks, Michael. See you then.
Yeah. All right, bye.
Hi, friends. Gene Valentino. We've got to get on this herpes virus and attack it at its source. If you're tired of these cold sore breakouts caused by the herpes virus, you've got to discover this product I'm on board with. It's called Herplex, the natural homeopathic remedy that works on your body's defenses. Visit buyherplex.com/Gene. Do it today and save 25% on your first order by using the discount code GENE25. Throw that code in there and you got yourself a discount. Let's conquer herpes and cold sores together.